All praises to the Most High. This is another Sabbath day, and we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem HaMashiach, Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Matthew 10, Isaiah. Y'all can Matthew 9, 10 through 13.
Matthew 10 verse 1, and when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
And that's what we come out here to do, because a lot of our people, right now, they're sick. They're sick because they don't know Christ. This is why a lot of them are sick. And that's why Yahweh Shai said, the well, they have no need of a physician, but the sick do.
That's right. It.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 9, verses 10 through 13. And it came to pass, as Yahushua sat at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, Why eateth your master with publicans and sinners? But when Yahushua heard that, he said unto them, They that be whole need not a physician.
See, this is the thing. A lot of people that are sick, they have need of a physician. But the ones that are doing the law, statutes, and commandments, they have no need of a physician. Read on.
They that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. But go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to for I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
And this is who Yahweh Shai came for. He came for the sinners to repentance. The sinners of Israel. He didn't come for this whole world, though. He came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. It wasn't for everybody in this world.
Matthew 11, 2 through 6. Now when John had heard in the prison the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples and said unto him, Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? Yahushua answered and said unto them, Go and shew John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear the dead are raised up.
Because a lot of people at that time, they were doubting. They were doubting the Messiah, which was Yahweh Shai. They had doubt. So he had to tell them, aren't the lame walking? Do the blind see? Are all those that were sick, were they healed? He had to explain all those people that he came. This is what he came to do. He came to set the captives free. Because a lot of people are in bondage because they don't know Christ.
And the poor have the gospel preached to them, and blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me.
And he said, blessed is those that are not offended in him. But see, a lot of people, they get offended when they hear the words of God. And that's why he said, blessed are they that are not offended. They're going to receive this word with meekness, the engrafted word that is able to save their souls. The people that have that humility, they're going to receive this word. They're not going to reject it. A lot of people did reject Christ, but not all of them. Not all of them rejected him, just like we're not rejecting him. We've come back to the law, statutes, and the commandments.
That's right.
Matthew 12, 33 to 37. And Isaiah, you get Isaiah 35. Isaiah 35, 4 to 10.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verses 33 through 37. Either make the tree good and his fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt.
So now this is Yahweh Shai going into, he's using people as trees. He's using them as the analogy of a tree. He's using that analogy as a tree. People are trees in this passage. He said a tree is known by its fruit. Read on.
And his fruit corrupt, for the tree is known by his fruit.
And see, every tree is known by its fruit. Either it's a good tree or it's a rotten tree. This is what he's getting into. Read on.
O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh.
To see what comes out of the mouth, that's what's in people's heart. And remember, the heart is the mind. So whatever comes out of people's mouth, that's what's in their mind. That's what the heart is, the mind.
A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
And see, this is a warning. He said, every idle word that man shall speak, they're going to give account on the day of judgment. So see, this is why we're going to speak the words of God. This is why he said through Peter, if any man speak, let him speak of the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him minister with the ability that God gives him. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you what saith the Lord, and that's all you're going to get. We're not going to give you nothing else.
For by words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
Because see, he said, by our words we're going to be justified, and by our words we're going to be condemned. So if people got to be careful with what they're saying. And when they're murmuring in the houses, talking about behind people's backs, they got to be worried. You should be concerned about this, because the Most High, he hears everything. And he sees everything. Here, let's get that one.
Is that it?
Yes.
Let's get that one.
Get Amos. Amos 9, the eyes of the Lord. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Isaiah 35, 4 through 10. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, even God with a recompense. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened.
See, right now he's been opening our eyes. He's been opening up the one, because see, we were blind at a time. This is why Christ said he came into the world so that the blind can see, and those that see may become blind. What did he mean by this? Well, he wants us to stop looking at all this stuff carnally and start walking in the spirit, and stop looking at all this stuff that these people are trying to push on us. Because this is what they want you to do, is stay in that mud and that mire so that we can die with them. This is what they want here. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do what God says. Like Paul said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
And the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as an hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert, and the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water.
Because it's going to be springs of water, because this is the living water. This is what you're getting right now. See, Christ came into this world to give testimony of the truth. There was no guile in his mouth, and this is what you're going to get every time we come out. Nothing but the truth. See, you guys in this society, you're so accustomed to nothing but lies. But every time we come out on the Lord's day, you're going to hear that truth. That's all you're going to get.
In the habitation of dragons, where each leg shall be grasped with reeds and rushes, and an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it.
Because this is talking about the kingdom of heaven. He's getting into the kingdom of heaven in this passage right here.
But it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, though fools shall not err therein. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there, and the ransom of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away.
And this is that kingdom. This is the New Jerusalem. It's not going to be no sinners there. This is what he's saying. There's not going to be no murderers there. There's not going to be no liars there. There's not going to be nobody that's into adultery. There's not going to be nobody that's wicked in that New Jerusalem. It's going to be a righteous kingdom, because in righteousness we're going to be established.
That's right. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom.
See, this is that warning. He says this is the prophet Amos. He said the eyes of the Most High God are upon the sinful kingdom. Right. He sees everything that's going on in this wicked kingdom right here. Read.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
But this is what's coming. He's getting ready to destroy this place from off the face of the earth. This is what he said he's going to do to this place. Because in order to bring a righteous kingdom in, this wicked one has to go. He has to get rid of this wicked kingdom first.
Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob.
And he's not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob, because he's going to save a third of Jacob out of this captivity that they're in. And brother, you look like you're part of this too. We come out here for the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's right. That's right.
This is who we coming out here for. We coming out here for the lost sheep. And I bet your dad is a so-called African American, right? What is he? What's your dad?
We Nubian.
Nubian.
Yeah, we from Anquilla.
Anquilla, where's that?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, so you would.
Yeah, originally, but
You might be.
I know about root from.
You might be like an Ephraimite then. You could be from the tribe of Ephraim.
That's right.
You might be from the tribe of Ephraim. You know how we know this? Because it said this is going to Deuteronomy. Let's get it. Go to
What
Deuteronomy.
area of Africa? I know my people from Zaire.
Zaire?
Yeah,
but a lot of our people has been scattered throughout the diaspora, man. They've been scattered all over the world. So that doesn't mean you can't be an Israelite. Our people were scattered. Read that.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And see, this was Moses warning us after he brought us out of the land of Egypt. When we got brought out of that captivity, he said if we didn't do the law, statutes, and commandments, we were going to be cursed as a people. And this is what happened with all of our people, why they're scattered in everybody's land. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
He said, cursed, we're going to be in the city.
Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
And is that happening to our people, brother?
Exactly.
So you know if you fit those curses, you know that's bearing witness with your spirit. That's bearing witness. Okay. All right, man.
All right.
But we have to do this. We have to tell the brothers when they come out.
Shalom, brother.
You got a flyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's already.
Okay, go back where you were.
See,
You're in Amos.
I don't know. Brought out
Amos, Exodus 2, 24 to 25. Whoever gets it. Exodus 2, 24 to 25, and you can get second Exodus 2, or 3, 34 to 36.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verses 24 through 25. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
And even though we've been going through these curses, the Most High has heard our groanings. And he's going to remember that covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, even though we had to go through it. See, our people, we turned and went astray, our forefathers, but the ones that returned back to him, we're no longer under the curses. We're not going to be under those curses no more. Read on.
And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them.
Because he chose us from the foundation of the world. So he's always had respect for the children of Israel. That's who he chose. It doesn't matter about you guys' emotions, how you feel about this. This is why you guys treat us the way you do. We understand this now. Because he chose us from the foundation. Read on. Is that it?
Yes.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Second Ezra 3, 34 through 36. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel.
Because that name that he chose is always going to be the ones he chose. He's not going to change. He's not going to disannul anything that he started. Everything he said in these prophecies, they're coming to pass. Everything that's in the Bible is coming to pass.
That's right.
Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned on thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that in Israel by name had kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
And see, there's always been some of our people that kept the commandments, but the Most High judges as a nation. This is what the problem is. He judges the people as a nation. That's why we had to all go through this. But see, there's always been some that wanted to serve the Lord. Is that it? Second Ezra 9, 31 to 37. Whoever gets that one.
Second Ezra 9, 31 through 37. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring forth. It shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers which received the law kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances, And though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine. Yet they that received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them.
Because see, they didn't. The ones that didn't want to do it, like Dathan and like Korah and like those wicked ones back in the time of Moses that didn't want to keep the laws, they perished. This is why that happened to them. Because he said, for the wages of sin is death. It's right there in Romans 6:23. So when our people sin, they always got death for sinning. And this is what they don't understand in this society now. As long as they're sinning, they're going to keep dying here. Read.
And lo, it is a custom when the ground hath received seed, or the sea a ship, or any vessel meat or drink, that being perished, wherein it was sown or cast into, that thing also which was sown or cast therein, or received doth perish, and remaineth not with us. But with us it hath not happened so. For we that have received the law perish by sin.
See, all those that have received the law, he said they're going to perish by sin. Because he gave us those laws, statutes, and commandments on Mount Sinai and Horeb through Moses.
And our heart also, which received it, notwithstanding the law, perisheth not, but remaineth in his force.
But the law perisheth not. A lot of people keep saying, oh, all the laws are done away with. But the Bible says the laws don't perish, but they remain in their force. So I don't know why they keep saying that all God's laws are done away with. I don't know why they keep saying this.
Second address, 8, 38 to 41. You can get that one. Remember, 38 to 41. 38 to 41. 38 to 41.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verses 38 through 41. For indeed, I will not think on the disposition of them which have sinned before death, before judgment, before destruction, but I will rejoice over the disposition of the righteous.
So now this is the prophet Ezra saying, and the Most High is speaking here. He says he's not even going to worry about the ones that keep sinning. He's not going to worry about them anymore because they're so stiff-necked and hard-headed. But he is going to worry about that good cluster of the vine, that grapes of renown. Read.
And I will remember also their pilgrimage and the salvation and the reward that they shall have. Like as I have spoken now, so shall it come to pass. For as the husband soweth much seed upon the ground, and planteth many trees, and yet the thing that is sown good in his season cometh not up, neither doth all that is planted take root.
See, not everybody that hears the word receives that word with gladness, and it doesn't take root in them. It's like what Christ said, some fell on the stony ground, some on the good soil, some on the rocky. So some people, it doesn't take root in them. They don't want to hear it and receive it. Read.
Even so is it of them that are sown in the world. They shall not all be saved.
He said not all the people here are going to be saved. And this is because of the fruit of their own doings. Because they don't want to keep the laws. They want to keep rejecting what God gave us, the good thing that was sown in us from the foundation of the world. They just don't want to receive it.
Is that it? That's it. Second Ezra 9 or 8, 1 through 3. Second Ezra 8, 1 through 3. You can get 9, 18.
And he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for a few.
So he said the Most High has made this world for many, but that new Jerusalem that's coming, that's only made for a few. Not everybody's going to make it. This is why the Levitical priest Zechariah said 2/3 of the people are going to be cut off and die here. This is a prophecy that's going to happen because they refuse to hearken and they pull away the shoulders and they don't want to hear them. Read.
I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved.
He said there's many people been created in this world, but only a few are going to be saved. That's why you're going to keep seeing that destruction going on all over the world, because this is the Most High God. This is Yahweh at work. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is at work, and they're making the crooked ways straight and the rough edges smooth.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verses 18 through 22. And now, when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For then everyone obeyed. But now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable rid themselves.
He's getting into how a lot of our people just will not hear the laws. They don't want to receive these laws. Read on.
So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it.
And the Most High, he knows all about these wicked devices that are going on in this society now. This is why when those ICBM missiles hit, you're not going to be having no financial institutions. All these banks are going to crumble. Everything is going to crumble. It's going to be a desolate wilderness.
That's right. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a great of the cluster.
And that's the ones he chose from the foundation of the world. That's why Christ said, my sheep, they hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. He already knows who they are. Read.
And a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain.
So he's saying a statement here. He's making a strong statement. He said, let the multitude perish that was made in vain. Oh, this is what he's saying. Read.
And let my grape be kept.
And let the grapes be kept, the ones that he had great labor to make. Read.
And my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
Because that's the ones he chose from the foundation of the world. Is that it?
That's right.
And with that, I'm going to pass it on to the next powerful speaker.